Hello everyone, my name is Dobby, coveredinfloss, unapologetically Dobby on Instagram, and this is my channel about cross stitch. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. If you are new here, I do hope that you like what you are seeing and you are going to decide to stay. So it's been a while. It's been a while again. Anything that I had planned before just went away because it's me and my life. So that's pretty normal. And this is attempt number 500, I think, at filming, because something is just going wrong all the time. So yeah, it's the hottest of the hot mess expresses. Let's hope that this time it's going to work. I think that it's been over 2 months since my last video. I think so. And things were happening. I stitched quite a lot, but not as much as I would like to. As you can hear, I definitely was sick. But I also went to a retreat that I really want to tell you about because that was absolutely amazing. So let's start with the most important thing in here. I have a finish, and this is a very, very important finish. I was telling you about that I had like a unicorn pattern that Alison, the amazing, the Stitching Whippet on Instagram, lent me, and I wanted to have it done, and I left like a few last stitches to have them done with Alison because I knew that we were going to meet at the retreat. So it is completed. It is completed. Let me just grab that. Sorry for all the crinkling. These are the goodies that I'm going to show you later. But we have Nightmare completed. So I'm not going to show you what it looked like the last time you saw it or what it's going to look when it's done, because this is done and I can show you exactly what it looks like in my version. So I hope that I will be able to fit that, because I know that my camera is at a very, very strange angle, and I'm sitting in a strange angle, and my face looks strange, and my top looks as if I was wearing scrubs. So everything is just everything is fun. But Nightmare Courtney collection. I cannot even tell you how much fun I had stitching that. This is one of these patterns that kind of flow. There was only partial page where I had issues with counting to 3. I completely didn't trust my ability to count to the smallest numbers because there was always something. But I did it. It's done. Perfect. It's finished. Okay, I was hiding stuff from Peppa because that's why there was just 5 million of different attempts before. Because she was trying to help very much, and she was sitting on everything, and she was rubbing herself on my phone, so it wasn't very, very helpful. But let me just sorry, I really hope that there is not going to be too much of me clearing my throat and so on. I will put some, if that happens, I'm just going to put some bird noise over that, so let's see. But let me give you the minimal stats on that. So Nightmare was started on January the 4th, 2024, and I finished that, fully finished that at the retreat on September 28th. Yes, that was the plan. So I had like 3 half stitches left, and Alison did one of them and I did the 2 other ones, and we have just like a photo here, so I'm just going to insert it here of us just like posing with the nightmare. And it was just like, I think that this is going to be like one of the very, very, important projects of mine. First, because that was a unicorn for sure, but also I found an amazing friend through that as well. So this is super, super important to me. And just some extra information. So this gorgeous fabric that is actually showing kind of true to color. This is Kiss from a Rose by the sewing shop CA, Kaylee 10 Stitch on Instagram and on Flosstube. So please go and check her fabrics because they are amazing. This is 28 count, and I stitched 2/2 with CXC number 29, and it just like worked perfectly for that. With the other things that I was stitching on, there wasn't as much stitching in general as I wanted that to be. There were a lot of factors in that. I was on holidays, I was sick. Before holidays, there was a lot of work and so on. But I did quite a few things. That I want to share. So even if the progress may not be like super big, progress is progress. And this is what is important. So one of the main things that I was working on, so that was Visit Dagobah by Country Magic Stitch. And let me show you what it's going to look like when it's finished. Just to make it a bit bigger. So this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I stitched a lot on that. I think that the last time, at the moment I stopped like counting stitches, stopped tracking stitches and so on, because it was just like an extra step that was taking me kind of away from stitching. And it was, I don't know why, I love having stats and love seeing everything, but there comes a point where I'm just done with that. I don't want to have any goals. I'm just going with the vibe, as I was saying last time. And this is what I was doing. So now let's do the comparison of what you saw last time and where I am now. So I am stitching this one on a 18 count magic guide, easy guide, and I'm stitching with 1 strand of CXC 1/1, and I absolutely love the coverage. And I think that when I stitch more of the Country Magic Stitch patterns, because I definitely have at least 1 bought and a few on my wish list on Etsy. So I'm going to do the same because it works perfectly and it's so super easy to stitch. So I know that I definitely passed 65%, and my goal is to have it finished before December the 5th, I think. So I can still frame it because I would like to give that to my boyfriend as a Christmas gift. So he knows that I'm stitching something for him, because I absolutely cannot keep any secrets from him. But he doesn't know what I'm stitching, so at least in this part it's going to be a bit of a surprise for him. Then the next thing that I stitched on, but I didn't stitch as much as I wanted. I think that I kind of burned out myself a bit on this stitch, because when I started that, I couldn't put that away. And then I left it for a moment, and then it was difficult to get back to that. But I still love it, so it's going to be continued. It's just like a bit different. It's a bit different vibe at the moment for me. So this is the Siege of Bunny Castle by Long Dog Samplers, and this is what the original mock-up looks like. But I am stitching that with my own choice of colors, and I'm using the floss that I get from the thread of the month from Tom and Lily Creations. So sorry, it's just super crinkled because it was rolled in the project bag from working on that, and I kind of refuse to iron anything before it is completed. So let's do the comparison. Let's see if you can spot the difference. This is what it looks like now, and here you're going to see what it looked the last time. So let's see if the difference is huge or not. But it's lovely. It's super pretty, and this I think that this is a dragon, but for me it's a snake deer. And I love this very delicately variegated green. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just like trying to... it looks darker definitely than it is in real life. And as this is kind of stitched as a seasonal stitch with thread gremlins, I chose this part as my spring piece, and I chose this green and pinks because I wanted to make it a kind of sakura dragon. So I don't know if I was successful, but I very much enjoy stitching that like that. So this is the thing. The next thing that I stitched on, and this is also something that you haven't seen for quite some time, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw it the last time at least half a year ago. I wasn't very good with stitching on that, despite that being one of my favorite, absolutely favorite projects in general that I saw. I fell in love, and it's just like the whole description and everything. It's just like, it's awesome. And this is the Disturbed Women by Lucy Beam Thread. And let me show you the model stitch. It's so beautiful. I absolutely love it. And it's just like with the description, you have like a whole list with the pattern. You have a whole list of the reasons for admission that were listed between the 1864 to 1889. What would get you admitted to a disturbed woman ward? And looking at that, I would be admitted just in a blink of an eye. So you can just go and check the list what it was, but let me give you a few things that would admit me. So definitely on the list there is bad company, but I don't know if that's just like it would be me being in a bad company or me being the bad company. I think that the second would kind of refer to me this way. So be careful when you are my friend. Then what else we can do? Disappointment. Again, feeling disappointed or being a disappointment. Different stuff. Then explosion and quackery. Definitely applies. This one I love. Not for me, but still. Kicked in the head by a horse. Sounds like a sound reason, but I don't know if that would make anyone disturbed or just injured. Moral sanity. Look at this face. Definitely applies. Overheat. I'm in perimenopause. And just like I have hot and cold flushes, I would definitely be admitted. Remorse. They should be more specific with that. And parents were cousins. No, my parents weren't cousins, but my grandparents were. So probably they would find that for me. But yeah, okay. Enough of just listing that. But each time I look at that, it's just like it's a facepalm after facepalm, because it's just like being a woman has never been easy, but there is a bit of an overkill in this sense. So where I am at the moment, and a bit of comparison again. So here, I'll just try to get it here. So the previous version, or the previous state of affairs, will be shown on the top. And I absolutely love it. Excuse me, missus, there is a cat scratching on the sofa that I'm sitting on, so you probably hear that. So I'm stitching that. I think that the fabric is from River Hat Designs, and it's 32 count, and the floss is one of my absolutely favorite dark-ish flosses. I cannot say that it's black, but this one, it's called Onyx, and it's from Tom and Lily Creations. I absolutely love this one, and when I stitch on it, the way that the variegation is just like going, it makes me think so much about the film noir atmosphere. So it's just like kind of this type of aesthetics, and it is absolutely stunning. I love it. So this is that, and I would really love to have it finished quite soon, because I would love to have it on my wall. But I would love to have a lot of things on my wall, but I am not very good at fully finishing things. So that's something to be definitely rectified in the future. The next thing that you saw before, and I stitched a bit on, this time I have it as a paper pattern. I started stitching from paper patterns a bit more, because it was just like easier not to drag my my tablet with me all the time. And this is something that I got from the Gift of Stitching magazine. I bought like all of them. There was just like a sale because they were just like closing completely. So I had all the issues for like, I don't know, $30 or something like that. And this is Double Dutch Sampler by Diane Jordan of Sampler Cove Designs. So this is this beauty. And I don't know if there is going to be a lot of difference from what you saw last time. There is definitely some, but I still love that. And again, I'm stitching that with Tomat Lily Creations floss. So the comparison. And it just goes so well. And I absolutely love the variegation in here. So this red and blue, there are Tomat Lily Creations, and this gold, I got it from Extra Designs when I was, that was a gift thread when I was in her Fabric of the Month club. So that was that. Then another paper pattern, again from the Gift of Stitching magazine. And this is Virginie Likens and Laura Martin, The Deer and the Hunter. Super beautiful. And I got inspired by the thread gremlins and their color choices and so on in a variety of projects. So it is stitched on a glorious mustard Murano with, oh my god, it's really crinkled. Sorry, as you can see, this is where I was stitching on that the last time. So again, the comparison, let me try to move that here and here so we can just see that. Oh god, maybe in the future I will iron a few of my projects because this doesn't look good. But oh well, we'll survive. So let me just try to maybe stretch that a bit in my hands so you can see it a bit better. I love it, just like you cannot see how intense these colors are together. And I absolutely love it. It's just like when I use my stitchy lamp for that, it's blinding. It's blinding, and I love it. And the last but not least that I put a bit more stitching into is my House of Hearts by Modern Folk Embroidery. So again, let me just show you what it's going to look like when it's done. I stitched so much on that because I just couldn't stop again. So this is this beauty. And I'm stitching that on the 32 count terracotta Murano with some speckled floss that I dyed myself. And let's do the comparison. If it fits, yes. It just flows. It truly flows. And this thread looks amazing. I'm just like kind of patting myself on the back for the idea of doing that with the speckled thread. And I had a few questions about how to speckle your own thread. So that was like the easiest thing ever. It was an experiment for me. Let me just like show you the thread against the fabric like that. So basically I had white cotton thread. Hello. Meow meow. There is a cat that needs attention. So I had the white cotton thread. I soaked it in hot water for a moment, then I took it out. I just like squeezed it a bit, then placed it more or less flat, and then just used the powder dye to kind of sprinkle that around, and then the dye was doing its own thing. So as you can see, there are just like lots of colors, but actually, and you would never say so, we have only, with the dye in here, we only have apricot and grey. But as powder dyes, they have just like the combination. Don't ask me for like the scientific explanation, but this is what I believe, that it's just like the to mix a color, they're just like kind of consisting of different powders and so on. So once it was in contact with like hot wet cotton, it was kind of splitting, and here is where the different colors come from. But don't quote me on that. Absolutely not. Don't quote me on that. So that was what I worked on. Okay, now we're just it's getting darker, so I will just try to see if turning on my lamp is going to, is going to help a bit. Sorry, just like, I don't know if just like if that's a good idea or not, but I would like you to be able to see my projects, even if I at the moment blinded myself completely and I don't see anything what I'm doing. So these were the things that you knew from before, but I also had 2 new starts, and both of them actually were the retreat starts. And one of them, and you're going to laugh so hard, because one of them is the tiniest start ever, but I needed something autumnal, and this is a restart for me, because I decided that I want to stitch that with 1 strand only. So I'm stitching that on linen at the moment with 1 strand. And this is something that you already know, and basically everyone knows. And especially if you are watching Jessie Marie does stuff, she had a finish, and this is just like, I just had to work on mine, but needed to restart. So this is Carolyn Manning Designs Sweater Weather. I need to say it correctly. And as I needed that to be a start at least, this is what we did. We had 1 of the diamonds, but it's going to be continued, because definitely stitching that on linen with 1 thread, it's absolutely amazing. I love it. Recently, I could stitch everything with 1 thread only, because this is just like, it gives me so much joy. And the other new start is something that I wanted to stitch for bloody forever, but I absolutely couldn't decide on what fabric I want to stitch it and what colorway I want to choose. But at the retreat, because that was the retreat start, Megan Coffee Craft Fabrics was there. I had a few things pre-ordered. I'm going to show you these things because they're beautiful. So she was there, and I didn't have this one pre-ordered, but I saw it, and it's just like, I have never grabbed anything so quickly. So I got, it shows a bit more orange, but this is like a beautiful, beautiful light peach. So I needed to grab this one, and this is 36 count. So I was recently saying that 32 count is my favorite, but apparently I'm just like going deeper into like higher counts. So I love 32 at the moment. 36 is just like absolutely glorious. Let me just, kind of is showing a bit less orangey, and it would be just like perfect. And I was just like, okay, I know that I want to stitch that on this fabric. And I just realized that I still didn't tell you what I am stitching on that. So this is modern. Yeah, that's too much of it. So this is modern folk embroidery and got the morbs. So I knew that this fabric is for that. But then choosing the floss, and of course my brain would go very intensely into super, super contrasting colors, crazy colors. But the more I was looking at this fabric, the more I was thinking about something completely different. So I decided to give it a try. And Rachel, the Talking Dog Stitchery, was also at the retreat with her shop, and she had lots of fancy flosses. And I found one that when I saw it, I was just like, this is the one. So this is the Gentle Art Sampler Threads, and this is 7009 Melon Patch. So I am doing tone on tone stitching. And let me show you what it looks like now. Just move. This is it's so beautiful, and it's just so delicate, and I am so, so in love. And I stitched a lot, because this is everything that you can see here that was stitched during the retreat, and basically I am almost at 1/4 of the project, so we're going to definitely have a finish soon-ish. I would like to have it done soon, and again on my wall, if I ever frame it and fully finish that. So these were my 2 new starts with that, and basically everything that I stitched on. And now all the good stuff that was happening. But before I get to my retreat stash expansion, this is what I'm going to say it, call it. Emily, the Aussie stitcher. So I mentioned Emily a few times, and over Instagram we became friends, and some time ago she was asking me for an advice how to choose on the color for the fabric that she had and so on. I helped her, blah blah blah. This tricky, sneaky person, actually, it turned out that she stitched that for me, and she sent that to me, and this is the beauty that I got. And I was bawling. It came on a day that was super, super stressful for me. I was just like on the verge of tears already. But when I saw that, I started crying the best tears. So once again, thank you, Emily. And definitely, time spent with cats is never wasted. And I believe that this is stitched on Pickle Juice by Kaylee. So another fabric that I would need to get my hands on. So yeah, that was some stitching and stitchy kindness. But now let me just take a move. I'm just thinking where to move this pile. I'm almost sure that Peppa is going to notice the pile and she's going to just like place herself on the pile. Let's see how's that going to work. So now we are getting a bit into the retreat area. So I will be talking a lot. Be prepared. Putting my tablet away. I have some notes in here. So basically, that was the best weekend I could have. That was the weekend of the 26th, 28th of September. Essex Needles retreat organized by Teresa, Elaine, and Nikki. And it was mind-blowing. It was mind-blowing. It was like the best weekend filled with stitching, laughter, buying stuff, and so on. And I completely found my people. I met the people that we've been friends on Instagram for quite some time. I met friends that I already knew, and met new people that I am absolutely in love with. So I'm sure that I won't be able to like list everyone, but the most important people that I met for sure. So definitely Teresa Little Stitcher. She was one of the first Flosstubers that I started watching, and I started watching her videos in 2015. So after 10 years, I finally met her in person. And if you watch her videos, she is exactly like that. I want to take what she's taking because the energy in this woman is amazing. This is just, I cannot even explain that. I cannot describe that. She was flying around the whole place. And I would need to ask her if she stitched at least one stitch during that time, because she was everywhere all the time, and that was fantastic. Then Elaine, Ellie Welly Stitcher. I watched Elaine's videos also for some time, and this is again the person that you see in her videos. She has this kind of soothing presence, but don't let her fool you. She is a rascal as well. But still, if just like anything was needed, she was just like there. And the whole approach, that was my first time at this retreat. But the approach was so personal. And the organizers just like, coming to you, talking to you and so on. It was fantastic. So despite me knowing basically like one person from my real life there only, because my roommate and table mate was Zoe, Coco Creates. So you know that I met Zoe a few times already, and it was just like amazing to spend the whole weekend together and just like being roomies together. So despite only knowing her, I didn't feel overwhelmed even for a second during this whole time. And this teacher room. So the whole event takes place at the Novotel Stansted, at the Stansted airport. And since they've been always doing that there, the staff knows the teachers. They are just like, you know, like special connections already with that and so on. So that was just like fantastic because we were really, really amazingly taken care of. And the food was great. The hotel is fantastic. It's so easy to get there from the airport. And the stitcher room was only ours. It's just like, it's kind of like it feels a bit separated from like the main hotel part. So we were there just like running around in our socks and so on. And it was just like, it was fantastic. The food, coffee, the tea selection, and so on, and people working there. Chef's kiss. Amazing experience, and I am really, really hoping that I'm going to get my place for the next retreat next year as well, because the places are limited. So they are kind of doing the spinny wheel and so on. But I already have my email set up to be, I have it scheduled to be sent out in the specific period of time when they want the emails to come and so on. So I do hope that I'm going to be selected again. But that was fantastic. So there was Zoe and her sister and her mum. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Sophie. And oh my God, they are hilarious. So there was a lot of just like sitting, chatting, and quite a lot of stitching, more than I expected. And even more enabling. So if you ever go to a retreat like that, be prepared. So that was like our tiny bunch. Then we were joined by Jess Cross Stitch. And it's just like, I've known Jess only through Instagram and Flosstube. The moment we met, it was just like, yeah, it clicked. We're there. So definitely finding my people. And Jess, she brought like 2 huge bin bags. So we could just like also, if we needed, we could just drop from the chair and just go to the bean bag. And it was fantastic. There was no Alfie, unfortunately, but I already invited myself to Jess's house to visit Alfie and her. So in the future, I hope. So that was also super, super fun. Then we had Rachel, Talking Dog Stitchery. She was there as a stitcher and with her shop. And again, it's just like with Rachel, I didn't have so much of like communication before. I felt that I know her because, of course, I was watching her videos. But again, it was just like, yeah, this is totally my kind of person. And it was just like so easy to talk to her and so on. So, and far too easy to spend money in her shop. Definitely far, far too easy. But I regret nothing. I will show you what I got. Then there was Becky. And okay, now I'm just going to, I am blanking on Becky's channel's name. I'm going to put the name here, or just like drop it down below. So I was mentioning her Flosstube earlier in one of my videos. She had like a bit of a break, so I was just like pushing her, just like film more. And yesterday she actually posted a video, so I am just waiting for the weekend because I need to have like a good time and there's a good stitchy place and to sit and watch her. But please go and give her a watch because she is fantastic, and this is also my kind of sense of humor and so on. Then of course meeting Alison, the Stitching Whippet. So I already mentioned Alison before, but meeting her in person and just being embraced by her presence, something unbelievable. She is so warm. I knew that before, but just have this translation to the real life and finding somebody that you immediately feel safe with. It doesn't happen so often in life. So I got kind of adopted by her. I'm her stitchy daughter at the moment, and yeah, I cannot wait to see her again. She was there with her husband, hi Dominic, who's also a stitcher, and just like their energy together, that was just something different. Unfortunately, I was already just like, I know that I think that I was just like already catching something. So I wasn't at 100%. But definitely next time I see them, I'm just going to hug the hell out of them. Yeah, there were just like so many people. It's just, if I know that somebody has like a Flosstube channel, I'm just going to link them down below. But I loved every person I met there. And I can be very, very awkward with a bigger group of people. I have this strange tendency that when I'm in a group of people and it is a bit uncomfortable because the people don't know each other and so on, I will try to make a clown of myself to just kind of lift everyone's mood. It wasn't the case here because there was no discomfort. Everyone was so like open from the very, very beginning. And being for the whole weekend with people that I didn't need to pretend to be somebody else and could be my real self all the time was amazing. And I love you all. If you're watching that, please feel hugged. I'm just getting soppy because I miss you all, and it's just like the whole buzz of the stitching room and so on. Because Julie and Sandy, these two, that was just like complete craziness. Because of them, the stitching room was getting open at 4 a.m. because who knows when these two want to start stitching. So they were the first ones to go to the stitching room and usually the last ones to leave. And oh my god. It just like, I could just talk about every single person separately. But yeah, that was fantastic. That was fantastic. But now, let's get to all the awesome shops that were there and my stash expansion that happened there. So first, this is a kind of stash expansion and also stitchy kindness. So let me start with something that my amazing Zoe made for me, and we are twinsing with this bag. So this is a fantastic bag that she made for me. It has like it has her channel name, and it has like the cross-stitched patterns and so on. And this is so fantastic with the zipper and so on. She said that that was her first time doing like this. I don't even know how to call that. It's like a box pouch. Sorry, I have no idea. And it's absolutely professionally made. So yeah, girl. So that was that. But she also made something for me that made me laugh so hard. So she made this pillow for me. It's a stitchy pillow. What is stitched on this pillow? It's a goose. It's a silly goose. And what is the goose doing? So it is holding a bloody knife. I think I shall cause problems on purpose. So it's a totally me goose, for sure. I have this pillow at the moment living on my desk on like my eye level. So each time when I am working, I just like look at that and it just lifts my mood so much. Thank you so much, Zoe, once again. But this is glorious and I absolutely love it. And look at this perfect back stitching on this goose. How dare a backstitch be so good? Envy. Full backstitch envy at the moment. And from the goose situation, let's go to ducks. So Jess cross stitch, she's making bags, and she was making some bags for herself. And before retreat, I asked her if she would be okay with making some bags for me, and she agreed. And it kind of motivated her to make more that she had planned. So I will show you what I got. So there are things inside, that's why it's just like I'm going to zip it. So this is what she made for me. And I'm just going to, I don't get any commission on that, but let me tell you, this is the best bag I have ever experienced. It is floppy-ish, but it's not like super thin and super floppy. The zipper goes at an angle, so when you put your pattern inside, nothing gets squished by the zipper because you have this nice corner, and it's just like envelopes that. I am obsessed. I got 3 bags from her that she made for me. So this is number 1. Then I have this glorious squirrels. It's a smaller bag. And this is an A4 one, and this is A5 one. So they are a bit bigger than the A4 and A5. so you can perfectly fit your patterns in there. So the squirrels, love them. Then I have one, it's also full of goodies, so just going to show you like that. I got these sunflowers because I absolutely love sunflowers, and the sunflowers are also on the inside. So this is amazing. But Jess, as a thank you for me being her motivation and inspiration to just get into making bags again, she made one for me that I am obsessing about. So this is where we go from goose to ducks. Look at that. I couldn't stop laughing. I really couldn't stop laughing when I saw it. I love it. It's just like, it's perfection. It's pure perfection. And at the moment, my house of hearts already lives in that. Because both ducks and the pattern are very close to my heart. So I absolutely love it. And it's just like, I love stitchy friendships. It's not about just like getting gifts or something, doesn't matter. But being understood on the crafty level. I don't know if you know what I mean, but this is that, just like people getting you. And definitely these bags, cross stitch Jazz. I think that I kept saying Jazz cross stitch. No, cross stitch Jazz. Go and check her out. Also, fantastic Flosstube, and gorgeous bags. So yeah, definitely you need to go and check her out. So that was not the shops that I was talking about, just like a few goodies that I got and I bought, but now talking about shops. So first, Megan Coffee Crafts Fabric. You heard this name already many times because I love her fabrics. I love the way she dyes stuff. I love the colors. And I did some pre-order. I think that I ordered like 7 pieces of fabric. I'm not sure at the moment. And I just realized that when I was just like gathering stuff around, I might have also, sorry for the crinkliness, I didn't take out the things that I already that I bought from the plastic wrapping. So it's going to be a bit crinkly, but I do hope that we'll be able to see the colors. So I got a few things pre-ordered. I bought a few things, but now when I was gathering everything, I think that I also gathered the fabrics that I got from her before. Yes, so it just like, aren't they beautiful? She doesn't name her fabrics, so I cannot tell you what is what, but just go and check her out. You're definitely going to be able to find something that tickles your fancy. So this is a bunch of fabrics that I'm just going to, at the moment, this is something that I got before, that's why I'm not going to show you and talk about details. Let me just pack that to a bag, not closing the zipper now. Now the things that I got. So let's hope that actually the color shows amazing in the plastic. So this is like pink with yellows, and I totally just like see flowers in here. And this is linen in 32 count, so most of them are going to be 32 and 36. All of them, actually. Here we have like grayish with a bit of, it's more like peachy, I would say, a very light peach. Gorgeous. Then we have bubble gum. This is just like, these colors are just like amazing. Okay, just like getting, yes, these are so much my colors. So this is like a bit of purple, pinks, very, very light blues and so on. Beautiful. Then we have 36 count, and oh, it shows better on the camera than it shows like when I try to look at that through the plastic now. So it's just like blue grays. The mottling doesn't look very, very intense, but it shows like a kind of gradient that I absolutely needed in my life. And the last but not least, excuse me, and there was a cat hearing crinkling, so she just came running. So this is also something bubblegumish, but more into blues. Look at that. Aren't they pretty? So, so pretty. I already have ideas, and some of them are already also in my kind of assigned to projects that are going to be happening, because I also got patterns. So let me just like put this one to the side at the moment. And now, so that was Megan, Coffee Crafts fabric. Then we had Rachel, Talking Dog Stitchery. And from Rachel, I got lots of patterns and even more floss. So let me just show you. I had 2 things pre-ordered, but then of course there was more that I wanted. No. I didn't want them. I needed them. I very much needed them. So let me just like take everything out and just show you what is happening here. So the first thing, sorry, it's just like everything is flying now around, and I am putting a few things aside as well that are in a different category. But the first thing that I got, this is Blackbird Designs, and these are Cats on Parade. I love it so much. I don't know if I'm just going to do the finish like that, but I love them. I love them. You can see this is just like, you know, just cats walking around, and the middle one is carrying a flag saying boo, boo. And I have like a perfect fabric coming soon, so I hope that I also will be able to start it quite soon. And just sticking with a cat theme, I also got Jardin Privé Cat Lovers. It's a cat Quaker, kind of. I love it so much. Just like these tiny kitties. This is just something I see every day, and I just needed to have it. And it will be stitched pretty soon, I guess. So these was my pre-order, and what I got from Rachel from her shop during the retreat. So this is the Old Barn stitching, and it's called Spring on Lock Lane. And you will see like a theme in the patterns that I got. Somehow the whole weekend I was so focused on strange birds. Excuse me, Mrs. What you doing? There's a cat screaming. You definitely hear her. So look at these birds. Look at these birds and their heads. I had to. I simply had to. There was no choice. And for this one, actually, I have already fabric from Megan chosen. And this is like this very delicate sand color. It's beautiful. And also I got a lot of floss. I'm not going to be showing you like separately. It's going to be coming in the future with everything, but since I usually don't have like the opportunity to go and touch fancy flosses in places. Okay, that sounded very strange, but we don't have like an LNS, so I cannot go and touch the floss and see if that's something that I would like, if I would like working with that and so on. So I just jumped on this opportunity and got quite a few from Rachel, and this is going to be exactly for spring on Lock Lane. I did a bit of conversion because this is charted mostly with the cottage garden threads, but I chose most of the classic colorworks for that. So this is the bunch that I got. I am absolutely terrible at showing the floss correctly, but it's just like, oh, look how beautiful colors I have here. So just like I got lots of floss from Rachel, and these are going to be exactly for spring on Lock Lane, and also for the other pattern that I got from her. And this is Glenda's Garden, the artsy housewife. So again, as you can see, a bird. I needed the bird. So I also got the floss for that. I am just waiting for fabric at the moment. I hope I have the idea for the fabric, so I'm not going to be just like saying anything at the moment in case it doesn't work out. But let's hope it will be fine. But yeah, maybe during the next video I will be able to show you that. And talking about the artsy housewife, something that I need to share because they completely blew my mind. So I got my first pattern from the artsy housewife. It was from, I think, March Needle Market, I don't remember, but it was only in the paper copy at that time. They weren't PDFs. I got it from a German shop, and when it arrived, I was just like, okay, the pattern is a bit strange because it's not super clear. I will need to be careful when stitching, blah, blah, blah. And when I was at the retreat, I actually just like looked at a few patterns, and it's just like, oh my God, they look amazing. So it's just like, why such a difference? And the girls advised me to just contact Gigi and just see if maybe there was like some kind of misprint or something. So I contacted them, showed them the scan of the pattern, showed them also like the invoice that I got it, that it's not some kind of like shady stuff and so on. Within 5 minutes, I received the PDF. And it sent me crying again. I was hormonal at that time. So it was fantastic. So amazing customer service as well, and beautiful patterns. So if you have never tried Artsy Housewife, do yourself a favor and go and check the pattern, because the patterns are amazing and the patterns are amazing as well, if you have them correctly. So I don't know if that was something with the distributor for the German shops or something shady with the German shop. I do hope that it wasn't that, because this is one of my favorite shops, but oh well. Yeah, lesson learned. Get it from the source. So yeah, that was the first bit of my stash expansion, sorry, stash expansion. Let me just like put a few things aside and let's go into more shopping. So from the shops that were there as well, there was just there was Claire with her love puppet. She has amazing stuff. Go and check her out. She didn't have what I needed, so I didn't do any shopping with her, but I already told her what will be needed in the future. So she's just like bearing that in mind, because she has beautiful, beautiful floss gloss. So it's in a tin, like a bit like a lip balm. And she had them in like a kind of autumnal and holiday. Just wanted to say flavors. No, they are not flavors, they are smells, fragrances. And I was looking for something more universal that I could use throughout the year. So she said that she's just like meeting with the person creating them. So maybe they are going to also talk about like expanding the range of smells in there. So definitely that is something that I'm getting in the future. Then we had Caroline from Haystack Stitching, who did a fantastic workshop on like finishing stitches, on decorative finishing stitches. So watch this space. I hope that I will be able to use that in the future on some projects. Let's hope, if I land correctly. And then we had Lauren Cross Stitch Bunny, and I won a bingo game. I was super excited because that was my first time playing bingo, and I won. And I got a voucher to Lauren's shop, and I got myself the most perfect things in the world. So I got myself a dino needle minder. That is glitter. This is glitter. This is a dino glitter dino. And it's a needle minder. And I love it. I need to give it a name. I don't know why, but I think that she looks like Poppy. Do you think that Poppy is a good name for her? She's a Poppy. For sure. And the other thing, and this is just like, I was already telling Jess when I was choosing the fabrics for the bags that she was making for me, that definitely my aesthetics is a kindergarten on crack. And the second thing that I got from Lauren is absolutely the proof of the same, because I got myself snips, the tiniest snips in the world. Look at them. They're pink. They have like a cover that is attached to them, so you're not going to lose it. They're tiny, and I already flew with them, so they can be taken on the plane. I'm super happy. Basically, I was just like saying that if somebody tries to take them away from me, I'm going to stab them. It wouldn't do too much damage, which would prove that I should be allowed to travel with them. Maybe not in my mental state after stabbing, but definitely the snips are not the problem here. Okay, so now we also had an amazing distash table, and I was a super unlucky person sitting across from Joe, who had the best things on the table. So let me first show you. The first thing that I got from her. Do you see the bird? How could I not? What is that? What is that? This is the Old Barn Stitching Company, and this is Tulip House 1819. So if you said that the theme are houses, I wouldn't say no, but the main theme are the birds, the strange birds. Then, because we need more birds, from Not Forgotten Farm, Sepia Sampler. Again, we have a bird. It's not very strange, but it's... No, it is. Look at the tail. It is a strange bird. Very good. I'm on theme. I was just wondering, why did I get this bird if it's not strange? But it is strange. Then, not strange, but gorgeous. This is Token of Fall. Hello from Liz Matthews. It's so beautiful. And I love Hello from Liz Matthews. So I was just hoping for somebody to buy this bird. But no, it was waiting for me. So I grabbed it. Then my first capybaric. I always wanted to stitch something of hers, but couldn't decide. And that was one of the contenders. So when I saw it on the distash table, I needed to grab it. This is Mother Nature. And again, you will see birds. Lots of them. I have no idea what was with me and the birds, but they are birds. Then also from Joe, I got 2 samplers. So the cover photos are not showing so well because they are samplers. So again, another one from Hello from Liz Matthews. This is a Dutch sampler collection, and there are Dutch reproduction sampler, flower field, and daisy sampler. So you can see these ones. I'm very much into samplers recently, so I do hope that I will do them justice while stitching them. And this one. There is a bird. The bird is not strange, but there is the most deranged deer ever. So this is Queenstown Sampler Designs, Hannah Greenwood, 1847. This is this one. And look at the deer. What the heck is that? I love him. I love him so, so much. And I'm going to stitch the heck out of it. This is just like, look at that. It's just like, yeah, I kind of know what the deer looks like. I'm going to put it on the sampler. And the last one, it's not from Joe, but it was from Annette. So this is something that I was also eyeing for forever. So just like it would be a sin not to take it from the distash table. So this is Mary Needleworker, Lindy Stitches. And this is Mary Needleworker, How Does Your Garden Grow? And How Does Your Garden Grow is one of my favorite episodes of Hercule Poirot, Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot. So I thought that and that being about like needlework and so on, that's definitely going to be super, super fitting. So I also needed to grab this one. And another thing, or maybe okay, now I'm just like wondering, because we also had a raffle. And now I don't know if the raffle was the voucher or the bingo was the voucher and the other thing was the other prize. But doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because I also won And you will see why I got so excited. And I was actually eyeing this one before. And when I won it, I was just like, oh my God, this is just like, it's definitely some kind of destiny here. So this is Heart in Hand, one of the tiny towns, and this is a quilted tiny town. So there's one. And look at the cow. I was walking around and looking at this cow, and it's just like, I need it. But it's just like, okay, tiny towns, you wanted that before, but it's just like, don't do the impulse shopping, blah, blah, blah. Impulse shopping, what is that? So I was just like, yeah, when I won it, I was just like, really, this cow is my destiny. And also, if you look closely, birds, strange birds, we have them everywhere. And it was also accompanied with a mini. So this is just like, it's called Quilted Frill. And it's beautiful, and also has a birdie. And there is, I guess it's a sheep, and it's quilted. So gorgeousness. Yeah. So basically, that's it, I think. Let's see how long it's going to take me to edit this video, to tag everyone I want to tag, and so on. I don't have any plans. There are a few ideas just like floating around in my head, but they are not specific enough to talk about them. I am, and in general, I'm doing well, apart from what you can hear. But this is something that cannot be avoided, unfortunately. My immune system is completely crappy. So, yeah. I still have a bit of a retreat hangover. I definitely miss everyone that I met there. And now, everyone, please keep your fingers crossed that I can get a place for next year, because I would really love to do that again. So yeah, I think that's it. I will try to be back soon-ish. I hope that you will be back as well. For now, you can do all the YouTubey things, like, share, subscribe, and comment. And if you got to the end of that, and my rambling and my showing you all the stuff, comment with a bird. Show me all the strange birds. And if you know of any patterns with strange birds on, or any other strange animals, like the deranged deer, for example, let me know. Let me know. I need them all. It's going to be my Pokemon stuff. Catch them all. And then stitch them all. Yeah, but we know that collecting patterns is a separate hobby to stitching, so I'm not worrying so much about that. So yeah, thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope that you are all well and sounding better than I do. And happy stitching, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.